Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. To begin the CCTV login procedure, you need to double click on VX App Center. And enter the user ID and password. The user ID for safety is going to be safety or lowercase. And the password is going to be safety123 or lowercase. And click login. And click OK. And once login, automatically your 3 screens will populate all the pictures that was saved for that particular user. And at this point on, you may be able to double click on any picture to enlarge it. For example, you can go to any screen, double click on any picture, just to enlarge that picture. Screen number 1, all the way to the left. Double click on the picture you want to see, and you'll be able to see the picture, wider. And if you want to go back to normal, double click on the same picture. That takes you back to your multi-screens. I'll go to monitor 2. Double click on the picture. That takes you back to normal screens. And go to monitor 1. Double click and it takes you back to your multi-screen. If you wanted to use a PTZ to move around and to find out which one of the pictures is a PTZ or not, if you move your mouse to the left top corner of that picture, if it's a circle, it's not a PTZ. If it's a little pendant, it's a PTZ. At which point you can use your left click mouse, click on the pendant. It will actually turn the color of the border from white to blue. And at that point on, you can use your mouse to either zoom in with the wheel or zoom out. Or you can left and hold the mouse just to turn left, down, right, and up. Once completed, just go to the left top corner of that screen and uncheck the pendant so that your border can go back to white. Now you're back to normal. And that's how you use your PTZ. And that's how you maneuver the PTZ. And if you wanted to do the same to a fixed camera, the only thing you can do to a fixed camera is to zoom in and out. And as an example, a fixed camera will have a circle with 2 slashes in the middle. You do the same thing. You enable it. Your border will change from white to purple in this case. And you use your wheel. You can go in. You can go out. And if you go in, as you see the center of the square, you can actually go and you can go to any of the corner. If you're looking at the little screen at the bottom right, that's pretty much all you can do with a fixed camera. And then you can zoom out. Once completed, uncheck the circle with the 2 dashes in the middle. Take you back to normal. And pretty much that's how you maneuver the cameras. Now, if you wanted to create your own scenery for the 3 screens, you wanted to create a different one. Right now, this particular one, if I go to View, I go to Workspace, we are on the workspace that calls Command Room. if you wanted to create your own workspace, which would allow you to generate any picture you want on those 3 screens, you click on the plus, give it a name. In this case, I'll call it testing. And then you click save. Now you have a save tab, a save workspace that calls testing. Now we're going to double click on it. Once you double click, it's going to ask you to close your current screen. You go there, you close it. Now it's going to regenerate 3 brand new screens. Now those were like a copy and paste from the previous screen that was there. Now don't worry about that. All you got to do at this point on, if you want to create your own screens, to the bottom right of the screen number 1, those are all the pictures you have in the system, all the cameras. You can drag and drop any of those pictures to any screens that you want. Left click, hold, drag and drop. Left click, hold, drag and drop. And you can do multi pictures at the same time. If I left click, go down, use my shift key, and then select, now I can actually do more than one at the same time. They're all going to be highlighted blue. And then you do a left click and hold and drop it anywhere on any of the screens you want to change. And that would be your new screens. Once that's done and saved, and you can do the same for any of the monitors, 1, 2, or 3. Once you see all the pictures you want to have on the screens, whether it's a screen of 16 shots, 4 shots, which you can change, and we'll stay on monitor 2 so I can show you. You can actually change the grid from 16 to 9 to 1. Anything you want, you can change it there. Once that's done, now at the end of the process, you go to your testing workspace name, right click, and save workspace. And then you click save. By doing so, if anybody was to go and close one of your screens, and I'll do some right now, I'll close screen 2 and 3, and I'll close 1 as well by clicking on the X. Okay? And then you go back to your workspace, look for the name testing, double click it, click close your current and open your new window, and it's going to generate what you just saved for testing. That's plain and simple on how you create your own workspace, depending on the shift you're on, whether it's a morning shift, afternoon shift, or evening shift. You can create your own workspace onto whatever camera you may want to have on the screen for that time period, and just to make life a lot easier. And if you want to create your own tab, that's another thing. See, you have 3 screens, 1, 2, and 3. Tab, you create it under view, and then you go to save tab. Okay, now let's say this is monitor 2. You wanted to create a different scenery for monitor 2 on a tab. Let's say I want to change this to a 1 picture. Then all you have to do from here, you click on File, you click on Save As, then you give that tab a name. We're going to call that tab Monitor 2. And then hit Save. Okay? Now, if you go to Monitor 2, you could see you have a tab that called Monitor 2. That's 1. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to close Monitor 2 screen out, and I'm going to regenerate Monitor 2. And here it is. Now, all you have to do here, just left click and hold and drag it to your monitor 2. And that's all you do. So by giving it a name, you know where it's supposed to go. So if you have to look for it, it's a lot easier. You just left click and hold and drag it over to the monitor you want to have it on. And that's really all you have to do on your save tabs. And of course, we went over the workspace save area. All right, now we're gonna log out from this login scenery for safety, which does not give you the access of playing back. So we're gonna log out and log in with a user account that has accessibility to playback. And I click on the drop down on monitor 1, click log out. And I click log out again. And now I'm going to log in with an account that calls playback. And I click OK, log in, click OK. All right, now we're gonna use monitor 1 to do playback. And to do playback is a very simple process. The first thing I would advise anyone doing playback to do is to make sure you know the time, the starting time, the date, and the stopping time and date. By having that, it's gonna make life easier for you to search that playback on that video. And of course, you need to know which camera you're gonna do the playback from. And you can do playback on multiple cameras at the same time. It doesn't have to be one, it could be 4. Okay, but we'll do it on 1, which means I'm gonna change my grade from 4 to 1. Once you do that, you select the camera. And let me see if I can find a camera that has activity on it. Okay, this would be a camera I'm going to do a playback on. And for you to see if you have playback on that particular camera, by moving my mouse down on that screen, you see all the green. That means that's the area you know you have playback on and what time. And you can do a live playback by clicking anywhere on that green, or you can keep moving it back or forth to see when you start seeing somebody moving around. Now hopefully I can find something within that grid. Here we go, I think I see something. Here we go. See a car just pulled up? I just have to go back to see when that car got there. Here we go, and okay. Let me go back, let me see. Okay, I'm going to let it play to see when that gray car came to the screen. Then we can start our playback from there. Yep, still playing. I'm sorry, but unfortunately I don't have too much going on this particular camera. So I really have to search on when something did happen. Okay, something did happen at exactly 7:33:28. 7:33 and let's say 28 seconds. So I would write that down, and the date would be 8/24/2020 at 7:33:20. And then let's see, we got to create a stop time. Now I'll wait until the gentleman moves away from the picture, then we'll know the stopping time. Okay, our stopping time will be 7:34 and 17 seconds. Okay, so now you have the stopping and starting. So now we can go and do a playback on that video. And at the bottom left of the picture, you have a circle that says investigate. You left click on investigate, and the screen will pop up. Now you can go and just create like a window so you can create your time. It doesn't matter where you create that window. You use your left mouse, click on the bottom here. Now you can open it wider. Then you click on the drop down arrow within the box. Then you click add to playlist. Now, if you look at the top left corner, it's going to give you a starting time with the date and a stopping time with the date. Now, this is where finding your actual time and date is very important. Now you don't need to do it here. All you have to do is to left click on the starting time and date, and you can fix the time and date right there. So our starting time was 7:33 and 20. So I'm gonna make it 7:33 and 20. You can use your keyboard to make it 7:33. And then click on the second. Use your mouse again. We're gonna move it to, click on the second. And we make our second, we're gonna change our second in a different way then. And 7:33:20 is what we need. $7:33:20, and you can use the mouse as well. 7:33:20 is our starting time, and then you're gonna click on your stopping time. You do the same thing. Your stopping time is 7:34:17. 7:34, and we're gonna change the second to 17 seconds. And here we go. Now once you complete that, now the arrow on the left upper corner, you'll see a square with an arrow forward. You click on it, and then it's going to ask you to give this particular playback a name for the export. So I'm going to use today's date. Today's 8/24/20. Now you have two options. You can either encrypt this video by inserting a password to it, or you can do it without encryption. Okay? But let's say we wanted to encrypt. You would select encrypt this export. Then it's going to ask you to put a password. I'm going to put the password as 1234. You have to enter the password twice. 1234. Okay? And then you click Start Exporting. And you can view the export. Click on view as it's doing so. Now you can see the progress bar on the top in green. That shows you what's going on as far as exporting. Once that's completed, you click on the arrow on the right side of the download of that particular file. Then you select download with video export player. Now, of course, you'll see the name that we created. We're gonna keep that name as it was, the date of today, 8/24/20, but you can always change that file name at any given time in this process. Now you click save. Now as it's saving, you could see the download. Then you click on show file. It's gonna show you where the file is, and you'll see it's 2 files you're gonna need to copy into a thumb drive or a CD. One of the 2 files is the video export player, which is needed for you to play the file that you call 8/24/20. Okay, so if you were to put a thumb drive, you need to copy the video export as well as the file that's in question. Then if you wanted to play back that video before you burn it, you double click on video export player. It's going to open the player for you to actually select the file. You click on open file, and then you select the file that you save as 8/24/20. Double click, and then it's going to ask you for the encryption password, and that's the 1234. And if you were to forget this password, you will never be able to open that file. So that's 1234, and you click unlock, and then you click open video in player, and here goes the video. It's plain and simple. You can enlarge it as you're playing it by clicking on the square box to the top right of that screen. It's that simple of doing a playback. And now I let it play so you can see when the gentleman came out the car and when he goes in the building. And the playback plays as live. You're not missing anything. It plays perfect. No skipping. Real time. And that is all, folks. Thank you. Now, once the playback is completed, make sure you close your screen, your playback screen, by clicking on the X to the top right. And then you close the file page. And then you close where everything was downloaded from into the investigation. And then you close your investigation. Okay, by doing that, then you know you're not on the investigation mode anymore. And then at the bottom right of the main screen of the picture, you should have a return key that says jump to now. You click on that to go back to your current live view mode. You're not on playback anymore. And that's all. That's pretty much all you have to do once you're done with your playback. All right, and to add one last piece to the puzzle, it's not really a puzzle, but once you're done your playback, you don't want anyone to go and play on your user ID and password login. So it's best to always go into the drop-down arrow all the way to the right upper corner of the main monitor, which is monitor 1, and log out of your playback login ID and password. By doing so, you know, no one is going to go and play around with your user ID and password. Then you could go back and log in the way you should be logging for the command room, and that is safety, all lowercase, and password is safety, 1, 2, 3. And then you go back in, click OK, and you will have your saved 3 screens, monitors for your safety officers. Okay? And that's all. Thank you.